This video is a demonstration of how to use appointment slots in Google Calendar. There are many great uses for appointment slots. The example I'm going to use today for this demonstration is parent-teacher conferences. My parent-teacher conferences in my classroom are scheduled for October 7th and 8th. So when using appointment slots, the first thing you want to do is open your calendar and go to the dates that you want the slots to be available. And so I'm at October. I'm going to start on the 7th. If you look, I already have a calendar event that tells me that my parent-teacher conferences are supposed to be from 2:30 to 7 on October 7th and October 8th. This is an event in my calendar. What I want to do is share these with parents and allow them to choose which 15-minute time slot they'd like to meet with me. The first thing you do to get started with appointment slots is click anywhere in the time frame that you want the slots to appear. So I want them to appear in this time. So I'm going to click on the white in those time frames. So when I click on the white, it pulls up a pop-up. It defaults to event, and this is how you could create an event fairly quickly. But we're going to switch over right next to it where it says appointment slots. We're going to create an appointment slot. Now I could fill in some information here, but I like going right to where all the details are. So I'm going to click Edit Details. This will show you how appointment slots work. First, you create an appointment slot. Second, you share your appointment page. This URL is a link to your appointment page, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. The next thing you do is you have your guest book appointment slots. So I'm going to start by filling in the details. This is for parent-teacher conferences. Now I'm going to add with Mrs. McCain because if a parent has multiple children in the same school and they're all using appointment slots, the more detailed I can be, it will help them know which classroom they're meeting in. The next thing I want to look at is my time block. Now this says October 7th from 3:30 to 4:30, but if you remember correctly, it was actually October 7th and 8th, and I wanted my conferences to start at 2:30 and last until 7. So let's start by fixing up October 7th. Instead of 3:30, I'm going to make it start at 2:30, and I'm going to make it end at 7. Now, the great thing about this is this really will end your conferences at 7 o'clock. So your last available appointment will be from 6:45 to 7 o'clock. So now this is correct for the 7th, but I want this same format on the 7th and 8th. So I want to repeat it on the 7th and 8th. By clicking the repeat box, you'll get a pop-up. Now I want it to repeat daily. I want it to repeat every day starting on October 7th, and I want it to end on October 8th. So now that I have that information filled in, I can click Done, and my time frame is set up. The next thing I need to choose is how long do I want the slots to be. I want them to be 15-minute slots. You'll also want to fill in some information down here, so I'm going to put that the conferences will be held at Needham Elementary. And I'm also going to put room 33 so the parents have a reference of where they're going. And then for a description, I'm going to put conference with Mrs. McCain about your child's progress and data. All right, that gives them a pretty good clue of what's going on. So at this point, I'm ready to save my time slots. Notice now I have a second. It looks a lot like the event, but there are some differences. You'll see the little cells that let you know it's broken up into slots, and it also tells me it's 15-minute slots. So now the slots are on my calendar. We need to make it so that the slots go to other people's calendars so that they can choose. So the first thing I'm going to do is double click to go into editing mode. And we're going to go back to this URL that we had. When I click this URL, it opens up a page. And we'll send this URL to the parents so that they get the same page. Now, if you'll notice, these are things that are in my Google Calendar, so it's specific to me. If a parent clicks on the same link, it's going to pull up things that are in their Google Calendar. So once it pulls it up, they'll notice the message, and the next available appointment slot is on October 7th, and so it will take them right to it. Now, if you notice, here's a slot for 2:30 to 2:45, and then the next slot is 2:45 to 3 o'clock. And here's our 3 o'clock to 3:15. So parents can pick any of these slots that are available for them. I'm going to go ahead and block out a little bit of time for lunch for me. And so what I'll do is I'll start at 5 o'clock and give myself this 15-minute break. When I click this one, it tells me that this is the time with Mrs. McCain, and this is the description. Now notice the time on this one is just 5 o'clock to 5:15. So I'm going to go ahead and change the description and just call it lunch. When I click save, it gives me the option to view and edit it on my Google Calendar, but I want to go ahead and stay here. Notice that that time slot is now marked out. No other parent can pick that time slot. This is very handy not only for blocking out your lunch times or any certain breaks that you would need to be in a different conference, but it's also handy if you want to pre-schedule any students. For example, maybe you have a student that has a sibling and you've worked out with the other teachers which time slot is best for that sibling. You can go ahead and pick that block and schedule it for that student without sending it to them. You can also, if a parent does not have a Gmail calendar, just let them know which appointment slots are available. And then once you have a slot that works for them, you can schedule it for them also. As you send this link out to parents, they'll be able to see these same slots. And when they choose one, as long as they have a Google Calendar, it will add the appointment to their Google Calendar as well as adding the appointment to your Google Calendar, and it will tell you who scheduled that appointment time. So once again, to get the link to send out to your parents, when you're in your Google Calendar and you see the appointment slot time, double check to go to editing mode, highlight this URL. You can hit Control-C to copy it, open up a Google email, hit compose, and paste that link right in there along with a message to any parents about scheduling for parent-teacher conferences. I hope this video demonstration was a help for you. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.